Can you tell me who you are?
Yeah, my name is Bernardo Moya. I'm the CEO, the editor, the publisher of The Best You, which is an internet portal but on a magazine, and also we run seminars through The Best You and NLP Life Training.
Okay, and why did you create that?
I actually got into personal development, self-improvement late. I mean, I got in my late 30s.
Okay.
When I was younger, I was very interested in sales because I've always been interested in sales and marketing. So I used to attend a lot of American, workshops. But it was all about closing and how to do sales. But it was only I came across in my late 30s when I read Paul McKenna's book, Change Your Life in 7 Days. It surprised me with how many interesting techniques. I never heard of NLP. Cut a very long story short, I did a seminar, loved it, and then I carried on training in NLP, and then I had the opportunity because Paul McKenna was going to America to take over his company, which happened very quickly within 2-3 years, and that was it. Then I decided to leave my life in Spain as a real estate developer and a real estate agent to set up something completely new in personal development.
It's amazing because you have an idea and you follow that. Did you have some fears about to change so quick?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a big decision. Leaving Spain, beautiful weather and lifestyle, to decide to come to work in London. I was born in London. My parents were Spanish, but I was born in London. But I went to live back to Spain since I was 9. So I was brought up in Spain. It was a big decision. Changing. I had no idea. I never knew anything about seminars. I knew nothing about promoting.
And why did you decide to do that?
Because I was just so amazed with what I learned in my seminar. When I attend the NLP practitioner course, I was just amazed. I thought, how can I be learning this at nearly 40 years of age? Why did I not learn this when I was younger? So, and then I saw the impact it had on me, and I saw the impact the other trainings had on me, but also on other people. And I thought it would be really cool to be involved in a business like this where what you're doing is changing people's lives.
So yes, it's kind of big why for you. The why was I will help other people to be able to have these tools.
Absolutely, okay. It's something that, as I said, I thought these things and techniques should be taught at school. Yep. Kids should learn them. The younger, the better. And I thought it would be great to be able to have the opportunity to continue to run seminars for Richard and Paul, and be in this great business.
Yeah, and you do also interviews of great, inspiring people. Let's do kind of sum up what could be the mindset of success. Maybe 5-7 points we have to follow to succeed in your life.
Well, I think the common denominator with a lot of people that I've interviewed is that they didn't necessarily learn what they learn at school. Quite on the contrary, I think maybe 7-8 out of 10 people had a bad experience at school. They were dyslexic, or they had bad teachers, or education was just a very sad time for them. So one was, it wasn't necessarily what they learned at school. They had a good instinct. They work very hard. That there's a good work ethic. But most importantly, they have a very, very clear vision, a very clear picture of what they want to do and what they want to achieve in life.
And do you think their vision was from the beginning?
I think sometimes, based on my experience and my own personal life and seeing so many other people, no, I think it can come in late in life. Some people have a vision very, very, very clearly from a younger age, but then a lot of them have failed as well. They failed, but it's not failure, it's feedback, and these guys have taken that feedback and they've gone out and done it again and done it again and done it again.
And yeah, so you say instinct, they have a vision. What was the first one?
Yeah, I think
about school.
Education and learning,
Education, and it's kind of persistence. Why these people have this kind of persistence? Because there are a lot of followers online, they see videos, they read books, they attend to seminars, and sometimes they ask me, I don't understand because I'm doing every trainings, I know how to succeed, but I'm not enough persistent, I'm not enough that and that. Why the people you interviewed have this persistence?
I just think that personally failure doesn't come into the equation, that they are willing to fight against other people that may not agree with them or share their vision, and they're just very, very focused. So they will continue doing whatever it takes until they succeed. But as I said, you know, they've failed. Some of them have failed, and they've learned, and maybe they've turned their life around in mid-40s, mid-50s. So, you know, it's never too late. I think the important thing is to carry on learning, carry on educating yourself, and believe in yourself, really.
And so, yes, it's a good question. How we can believe more in ourselves?
Personally, for me, is just I don't allow any negativity in my life. I don't allow any negativity. I don't want any negative people. I don't want negative news. I don't want anything that's going to affect what I'm trying to do in life. So I would avoid people that are draining you and taking your positive energy away. Maybe find new friends, new family, live in a different country. Just be open to whatever it takes. You have to be the best you. You've only got one opportunity.
Yeah, so, okay, what could be the keys to be the best of you? Let's imagine that someone don't know how to do it. They see the video and say, okay, I want to be the best of myself. How can I do?
Well, I think, you know, a lot of what you probably learned this week, NLP is kind of an essential key for me. I think, you know, your internal dialogue, you've got to listen to yourself. What are you saying to yourself? The pictures, what kind of pictures do you have in your mind? I mean, do you see yourself achieving what you want to achieve? Do you have a clear timeline? Can you see yourself going through that process? If you don't, you need to change that. You need to make sure that you start really understanding where you want to go. It's like writing goals. You want to write your goals down. You want to know what you want to achieve in life. You have to have a very, very clear picture. If you haven't got a clear picture, how's your unconscious going to have a clear picture? So that's kind of, for me, is the main thing. And that you need to throw in everything that is in place. You know, you have to consider that you may fail. You have to consider you may have to learn something else. You know, you just have to be prepared for whatever it takes.
Great answer. You are talking about NLP. How do you use NLP in your daily life? Because a lot of people attend to seminars, have and learn great tools. They know how to use it, but they don't use it in their life. So how do you use NLP? Do you have examples?
I don't know. I think a lot of people. Personally, for me, what NLP helped me was with becoming aware. It was a word that I never used in my life. I was aware for the first time of myself, of my emotions, of my internal dialogue, and I was aware of what's happening around me. So, listen, not everybody can learn NLP and then start implementing the techniques on yourself from moment one, because it doesn't happen like that. You just got to be aware of what you're actually doing. Are you being negative to yourself? Do you have a negative internal dialogue? Are you making the right pictures? So I would just try and use and apply NLP for yourself as much as you can. But what I tend to believe tends to happen in this industry is that we tend to help others. So we're great at giving other people's advice, but we don't necessarily follow it ourselves.
Yeah.
So NLP is kind of a set of tools, really, that should help you focus more and achieve more. That's all it is, really.
Okay, and do you sometimes change your picture with sub-modalities and...
Yeah, I do. I think for me, if anything, I just really, I make mistakes sometimes myself. Maybe sometimes I don't make the clear pictures. But for me, I just really make films and I actually see what I'm trying to achieve, and I go down the road and I see the process. So yeah, I use a lot of what we're supposed to. A lot, not all the time, but sometimes.
Okay, and do you have some daily ritual in the morning, for example?
No, not really. Not really. As I said, I mean, you know, I may have a bad day. I may have a day where I'm stressed out, but the next morning I get up and I'm extremely positive and I get on with it. I tend to listen. I'm getting older now, so I'm getting wiser. When you're younger, they say that when you're younger, you set fires. So you put a match, and then when you're older, you're a fireman. You put the fires out. So you learn with life that basically things take time.
Okay.
Things take time. You've got to be patient, and if you are patient and you're doing the best you can, then why should you feel guilty for anything?
Yeah, you just say something interesting, because you say the best you can and be patient. It's not easy to learn to be patient. And how do I know between, okay, it's not enough because maybe I'm lazy and I did the best, but I am criticize myself for nothing. Do you understand me? You think between, okay, I have to say, okay, I can do more, and the other part, it's I am insulting myself.
As I said, again, I think with time, you get to learn that, things take time, but also is that everything has to fall into place. You have to have a perfect balance in your life. And I mean, love, relationships, work, time off, learning, educating yourself. So you need to keep a balance. If for whatever reason you're not keeping a balance, in particular because you're working too hard and you're not taking any time off, or you actually haven't got a partner you can share your thoughts with, life is going to probably start becoming a bit messy. So just make sure that you enjoy life and that you appreciate the important things of life, because at the end of the day, that's the bottom line. Is that I personally think that a lot of the times we prioritize wrong. We don't tend to really value the important things of life. Tomorrow you have a terminal illness, all of a sudden everything that you've built your life around, which is a career and everything else, has absolutely no importance.
Yeah.
The only importance is around your family and the loved ones. So keep your priorities right. Keep your balance, and that should keep you focused.
Yes, great. You have a magazine also? What is the magazine?
Yeah, I felt there was a gap in the market within the self-improvement, personal development. I think there isn't a one-stop shop, a place where people in this industry can share their ideas, where you can review books, a place where you can find the best in the industry sharing. So we published a magazine. It's been around for 14 months now. It's digital only, but it's available in every platform, iTunes, Kindle Fire, and so on. And my intention is for it to become kind of the global reference in personal development.
Okay, as online digital magazine for iPad, for...
Correct. At the moment, it's iPad, Kindle, iTunes, and Google. But our intention is we're probably going to go HTML5 also, which means you'll be able to find it on the internet and just read all the articles on the internet as well.
Okay, so it's not a paper magazine.
At the moment, we do have a subscription, but it's print on demand. So if you want to receive the printed copy, you have to subscribe. The digital is free. The printed, you pay a small fee for the subscription.
Okay, a lot of magazine is going down today, are going down because people prefer more and more going to the internet. Do you believe that it's possible to build a real magazine in the future for your company?
I think so, yeah, I think so. I think the thing is that it's a difficult period now, because a lot of people are saying that iTunes has probably plateaued, There's so many publications being uploaded onto iTunes on a daily basis that, there's not enough space for everybody, and not everybody wants to go through the process of going up, downloading the app, then download the magazine, then log in. So I think what will happen in the future, as I said, what they're saying is that it will become kind of an online facility. So basically you'll be looking online and you'll read the magazine online, because we all have devices, we all have a phone, we have an iPad or whatever. So what they're saying is that unfortunately through iTunes and all these other platforms, there's too many steps. People want information instantly. Quickly. And that's what happens with YouTube. That's the advantage. You Google YouTube, that's it, the video's there. So that's where we're going to go. We're going to try and carry on being more digital, making it more accessible. A lot of the content, like yourself, the content that we're doing, I want to make it accessible for schools, colleges, universities. I think we all have to make a difference in education, and that's my contribution to the world.
And you say something interesting if entrepreneurs are listening to us, that you believe that the future is to help people to access to the information the quickest as possible.
Absolutely.
And the easiest as possible also.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the problem is that it's amazing. We're in an era of information, internet, social media, everything basically there instantly. But people have more and more trouble with obesity. They have lack of self-esteem. They struggle to find a partner. They don't know how to sell. They can't, and you're thinking, how's this possible? So what we do, which is providing people content and education and unique, material that can inspire people, will become more and more and more popular. People need to educate themselves, because at the end of the day, we can't rely on the governments, we can't rely on other institutes. We all have to do whatever it takes to make the world a different place, a better place.
Great. I have a weird question for you. Let's inverse what you are doing today in saying that we are building a magazine to help people to be loser and happy in their life. Well,
I suppose, just drink a lot, and and don't read anything, and
Don't read.
yeah, carry on reading a lot of newspapers because they've got loads of bad news. Carry on seeing stuff that is negative. Surround yourself by negative people.
Okay, it's important.
Yeah, and I suppose be very pessimistic and talk to yourself in a very shitty way, saying what a shitty man you are today, and look at you, you're absolutely horrible. You know, so I suppose that would help.
It's great. Let's build the worst of you.
Absolutely, I'm sure there'll be a lot of sad people that would love to read that. But that's the thing with the news. You look at the news nowadays. What is it based on? It's just based on bad news. And what they say in life is that what you focus on expands. So if you focus on bad news, you're going to get bad news. If you focus on people getting raped or killed, you're going to get raped and killed. I just think you need to be very careful with what you read and what you put in your head.
And for my last question about your company, you have a magazine. Do you find inspiration of others' magazine? How do you do your growth hacking? Do you understand this word, growth hacking?
Yeah.
How do you manage that?
I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I would like to spend more time doing research. I try to stay on top. I try to see what's out there and what's making a difference. I don't know. Of course, I've got inspired at different times through different publications. I mean, I thought Psychology, when it came out quite a few years ago, was interesting, but it's a completely different publication nowadays. I thought Success originally was quite interesting when I was reading it, but then, in my opinion, and with the greatest of respect to the Americans, I thought it was a very Americanized magazine, which is only focusing on money and business, and there's a lot more to life than money and business. So, I think there's things out there, but I haven't actually seen anything like what we do, personally. I'm not saying that our magazine is the best. I think we can definitely improve. I want to make it a lot more multimedia. I want to have better quality contributors. I want to build partnerships and sponsorship opportunities. But I think we're on the right track. I'm hoping.
Do you have an idea of how many people who are following your magazine today?
Well, we've got a relatively big database. So we've got around 65,000 people on our database. We've probably got around 15 to 20,000 digital readers, subscribers. So that's what we've got so far. It's early days, but...
and you started, you say?
Yeah, around 12, 14 months ago.
Yes,
it's a short period of time, yeah. But what I've learned, especially with digital content, it's going to take time. I mean, my objective is to become the global reference. I want to have it translated in many languages.
Okay.
I want to have 500,000 readers in the next 3 years.
Wow.
So, we're aiming high.
In the 15 months, what's the 3 things you made that made the big difference for you?
I think I'll focus on what we did wrong to start with. I think what we did wrong is we went down the digital route, charging for the digital subscription. But I thought, there's so many magazines out there. Why would people not want to pay, £2.90 to view our digital magazine? So that was a mistake. So one of the best things we've done is now that it's free. Okay. That was a good thing. The second thing is I think the interaction of the video interviews and stuff like that we do is good. And I think the quality of the contributors I think that we get, like now we have Jerry Robert, T. Harveka, Robert Kiyosaki. We've had all sorts of great speakers already contributing.
Let's imagine that people want to see that, how they can find, for example, T. Harveka.
Yeah, well, I mean, within all the different issues, we have different contributors, but they're all kind of world leaders in personal development, so they now contribute on a regular or semi-regular basis. But anyway, the magazine can be found at thebestyoumagazine.co. It's .co.
It's easy.
Yeah, thebestyoumagazine.co.
Okay, so in 3 years, 1 million of subscribers.
500,000 readers.
Okay, and what do you need for the next step if someone are interested to help you?
Well, we're looking for potential partners. We're looking for people that may want to license the magazine in other countries. So, we're in conversations with somebody maybe in the Arab countries at the moment. Might be somebody in Asia who's interested in licensing the magazine and translating it to Chinese. Or so those are the steps that would help us, obviously, to find partners. But then also, again, kind of the magazine, it's a vehicle. But also kind of what I want to do is I want to run some very big seminars, and that's what the magazine will give us. I want to have seminars with 8, 10, 20,000 people, with potential sponsors and partners pretty much paying for all the expenses, which then would allow us to make the tickets very, very, very affordable. I want to make it as accessible and as affordable as possible. I want to do online trainings as well, so I want to have hopefully 20,000 people in the room and 50,000 people viewing it from their homes. So that's kind of where I want to go with it.
Great. Do we have the time for a last question?
Sure.
What do you think about what we sell and how we sell in a seminar, for example?
I'm just very against kind of the old school way of doing seminars, you know, and I think this came originally from the US. I think, you know, look, having a room with 10,000 people or 20,000 people whereby you have a big speaker, which you pay maybe ridiculous money to go on stage, and then the other people have to pay to go on stage. Well, what's going to happen is obviously is that these guys that pay substantial amount of money to be able to have the opportunity to pitch or to sell are going to sell. So I don't think it's helped the personal development industry to sell seminars that way, because what people expect is that they go to a seminar and they're going to be sold from the stage. Look, if somebody's buying a ticket to attend something, give them what they're paying for, all right? If at the end of the day the speaker, the inspirational speaker or whoever it is on stage is good enough, his products will sell anyway. Now, there's no harm in asking people, look, I'm running a seminar next week. If any of you are interested, please go at the back of the room. And if those who aren't interested, is fine. That's normal. It's business, isn't it? We all want to promote our products. But from there to like sell, you know, for 48 hours, you know, every single speaker that goes on stage, I'm just very against it.
So how do you manage between too much extreme sell and no sales at all?
Well, I don't think it's no sales at all. I just think it's, you know, I think it's just doing it with class, doing it with style.
Okay.
Look, at the end of the day, if you know how to, if you do NLP, you should be able to take people through an emotional journey or use a couple of embedded commands to be able to get people to maybe go your way. But I don't think it's necessary. I think if you have a speaker that is inspirational.
Yeah, can you repeat that? It was interesting for me that you say we have tools to influence the room.
Absolutely.
But maybe we don't have to use it.
Absolutely, I just don't think so. I think so. If I'm going on stage and I'm talking about my journey, my product, what I'm doing, if my message is inspirational enough, if people think I could really learn from him, and at the beginning or at the end I say, look, for those that may be interested, and if you want to find out more, please come and see me at the back of the room. I think that's kind of I think that's all that's required, you know.
And why it's important for you to follow that?
Because we have to make personal development, self-improvement as accessible, as approachable as possible.